In this demo, I will show some tips and techniques on how to print on the carousel textile press a two-color job. So you need to have 2 sheets of film. So this is the base color and this is the second color. Here's an example on a textile tote bag of what we want it to look like. That green with the black on top. You'll need to expose 2 different screens. I usually print the lightest color first. So this is the base coat, the textile green, and then on top I will be printing the darker color, the halftone black. So every color you need to have an extra screen. You'll be printing them together at the same time with the flash dryer, and I will show how that works. Artwork setup is the same as a 1 color. You want to measure 3 inches down, take your film, place it onto the t-shirt, and then using some masking tape, get it straight. And then for each color you want to take your screen. I usually take the lightest, the first color, place that on. I drop my screen down, and then I move the screen around, and using my registration marks, I make sure that I get everything in register. Once I have it in register, I tighten this screen down, I lift up, I spin the press to the next slot, I grab my second color, I drop that in, loosen the clamps, and I also move this one around. So I'm moving it around, and I check my 2 registration marks. I push down on the screen, so as I push down, I want to make sure that everything is in register. Then I tighten up the handle. I always double check and make sure that nothing moved. This registration looks good. And this one looks good also. So now I'm ready to go. Tape the registration marks off and put ink in the screen and get ready for my test print. So on my film in Illustrator, I have 2 registration marks that I use to align my 2-color print job. So what I want to do is on the screen, I want to, on the back, I want to tape off those registration marks. So I have 1 registration mark right here, and then I have 1 on the bottom. So I'll go ahead with some masking tape and then just tape off those 2 registration marks. Now I'm ready to go ahead and print. So I'm going to take my squeegees. I'll drop this one down. Put squeegee 1 in. Rotate this one. Drop that one in. Take my spray adhesive. Lightly spray some tack down on the palette. And then I'll take my t-shirt and I'll place that onto the palette. Make sure I get everything straight. I get all the creases and wrinkles out. Once I have it straight, all right, so now I'm ready to go and load the ink and do my first test print. All right, so I did my test print. Everything's in register. I smooth out the fabric to make sure there's no creases. Now I want to print my t-shirt. I print the lightest color first. So I spin the carousel press around to ink 1. I lower ink number 1. I lift up the screen. Everything looks good. So before you print the second color, you do not want to print wet ink on top of wet ink. This ink will transfer to the back of the screen and you'll get a double image. So we have here what is called a flash dryer. So you wheel over the flash dryer. This is a mobile heating unit. You align the flash dryer with the area that you just printed. It takes between 5 and maybe 10 seconds for the flash dryer to lightly cure the ink. Usually on the first print, what I'll do is I'll take my finger on the side and I'll lightly touch the print and see if the ink is dry. If no ink comes up, then I know, all right, for this print, it took 10 seconds for it to cure, and then all the others, I know I'm good to go. So make sure you want to have that dry. Then I remove the flash dryer off. Now that this is dry, this is no ink on here, I can now take my second color. I don't remove the shirt, I lower the screen down. I lift up. Now I have printed a 2-color t-shirt. I did remove the shirt, everything stayed in register. So now I have my 2-color shirt. I did both colors at the same time, and then I just flashed the ink in between. I'll take this over to the dryer now, run it through. Okay, here comes my t-shirt, the 2-color. Once it goes through the dryer, it's fully cured. You can check the registration, everything looks good. Now I'm ready to do my next shirt. Here's the final 2-color. When you're done printing, you can put your ink back into the container. This is the 2-color textile t-shirt. A few things to keep in mind with the flash dryer. Because it is a fixed heating unit, the top gets hot. So you don't ever want to touch this top area, it gets really hot. So if you want to move the flash dryer around, on the top they have a handle. So you want to just grab that handle, and that's what I use to swing around the flash dryer. So be careful when you have it that you don't bump into it or grab it with your hand. Only use that top handle. The other thing is, because it is a fixed heating unit, you want to make sure that you never leave the flash dryer on top of a table. If you leave the flash dryer over a table like this and it continually gets hot, it will either warp the board or it can catch it on fire. So make sure that when you're using a flash dryer, you never leave it over a board like this, that you always have it so that it's in open air. So be careful of that. That's the only area that you could have issues with the flash dryer. Also, make sure that when you plug the flash dryer in, the only spot that it can be plugged in is over here by the sink. Otherwise, it will trip the breaker and kill the power. So make sure that the flash dryer is plugged in right here by the sink. I have an extension cord for it.